Oh shoot. I didn't even send you the link. Hold on.
Soldier through it.
Yeah, I just sent you the link.
I'm a beast of the Taco Bell. Huh? One more. Yeah. Right. Third. Let's see how hard they go back. God, where the hell? On the top, right? Got the other dude back on the page saying one man want to know real. And she looking at the camera like this, he like this. Damn shame.
You got the link yet?
All right, Mr. Cord. Oh, you already on?
Yeah, I didn't even realize what you call it. I started it, but you wasn't. You wasn't on it. That's why I was like, I gotta send you the link.
All right, I got it.
Mm-hmm. I wanted it, but you wasn't.
What you call it?
What's that?
The black one. It's in there on the thing.
Mine's?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Oh yeah. Give me a second, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Sure. Oh, I know what he works at now. He will call his job and get him fired.
Mm.
Every time I see him, I hate him. Donkey of the day, Charlemagne.
You did good. You did good.
All right, let me put this.
You get motherfucker charging the motherfucker. All right.
me see. There we go. There we go. Ah. All right, go ahead, Ken. Do your intro. We ready?
I'm gonna hang up the phone, right? You in there?
I've been did that.
Oh, okay.
All right, all right. True peace, everybody. Welcome to another amazing show on the Noon Questions and Answers channel. My name is Noot, Boonoo, Noopooh, and I represent the bone marrow of the Ethiopian race. Tonight we got another smoker dealing with the out of America theory, and my co-host will introduce himself. Introduce yourself, co-host.
True mental cosmic peace in wartime. This is called Kenu, the bladder Noopooh. And we're back with a part 3. I don't know how far this is gonna go. We're just racking them up as time go by, and we just want to bring as much scientific evidence and historical evidence as we can about who we are, what we are, and where we come from. And I had suggested, that a new tackle this subject, since this has been a hot topic. This whole where we come from versus where we are, and it's a lot of confusion going on with that. So I've just been doing a lot of research as well as far as the conversations that's being had about this it's not, I mean, it's not really the argument when you look at it from Noon standpoint. Our hair is what unifies us all, and that's one of the main ways you could tell you from the African race. And the rest of the information in the books that we've been putting out and validating that Afro-Uno wrote and put in, it proves that we physically come from that part of the planet Earth. And most of the arguments, it's been based upon, we come from over here, but that evidence has not been proven the way that we've been doing it. And that's what really matters, not who we mix with throughout time, whether it was through migration or forced migration, slavery, or whatever the case may be. So I just wanted to just welcome everybody to that and let y'all know that y'all not wasting our time. And what we want to do is just make sure that y'all receive the proper information and then do your research. So that's my intro.
All right, all right. Just do a little commercial. Get your Resurrect Your Soul socks. This the men's pair. I'm still waiting on a couple of samples to come in, and some and the women's pair being over the knee or the thigh high ones. So check out the socks, red, black, and green. All right. Plus you got the Black Solidarity Day, I think, is on November 5th. So you might want to go copy one of these on the Noopooh Noon website, Noopooh. Also, if you want to read the books on Noon, where most of this information, or actually all the information is coming from, you can go to noopoohnoon.com. That's NOPONOONE, or find9news.com, FINENENEWS.com. And that's Kweepu's website. All right. So Go check that out. I think they got some products on there too. On that Fine Nine News website. I don't know if they put it out yet, but I think I seen a couple of products out there. I still got the calendar for sale. I'm after I finish tackling this this out of America thing, I'm gonna go more in depth with the Zodiac calendar and explaining the constellations and the various stars that are the creators of the universe, because it all ties in to what we have going on right now. We're going from the inner core of the earth, and then we're going to expand outward. Soon we're going to reach, you know, to the deepest depths of space, all the way to the edge of space. But we know that there's no ending to space, so we're gonna reach all the way there. But we got to start from here, and then we're gonna branch our way out. All right. So cop the socks, get some knowledge at noopooh.com. Get some more knowledge from fine9news.com. All right. So let's get the ball.
You can,
huh?
Because you can type that in on from you, I think. And I don't think they let you. Yeah, they won't let nobody else type. You could type it in yourself since you're doing it from your end.
Then what?
Type in the websites.
The websites and stuff could be typed in from your end
In the chat.
in the chat. Whoever going live is the one that can type it in.
Oh, okay. So I would have to do that afterwards.
You can do it right now. So it'll be in there. So whenever they play this back, it'll be in there.
In the chat or in the actual description of the...
No, the chat. Because you should be able to type it in the chat yourself.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. I see.
Now ball is fire.
Oh, yeah. This was created by Quipu as well. I'm pretty sure she can charge y'all a decent amount of money to get your own. I wouldn't recommend getting it unless you learn Noon. Learn Noon and understand the reason of wearing the symbols. After you understand the reason of wearing the symbols, is gonna work better in your favor. Don't buy it because it's a fashion statement or anything like that, because I promise you that it will work negatively towards you, and it will force you to do the right thing. So if you're gonna get one of these symbols, I suggest that you go to the website first, both those websites, and read about the knowledge first before attaining one of these symbols. You said I gotta go to...
Yeah, just type it in.
Let me see, son. All right, so I'm in here now. I'm in the live. Okay. Click it. Oh, okay. So I could type it in the description, right?
In the chat. You should be to type it in the chat.
Oh, in the chat?
Yeah, so people, when they come in, they can see it.
I'm putting in the description first. All right. So I did that. Now, let me see. Let me go to the actual video now. Boom. No. All right. That.
All right, we ready?
Yeah, like that, right?
All right, hold on, let me look.
See, it looks good.
I had one on. Yeah, good.
It's good.
Yo,
All right, cool.
it's in there. I sent the video out to a couple of people too, so they should.
All right. You know what? I think the last time we left off, we were, I believe we left off by explaining the mantle plumes. I believe it was the mantle plumes that we were speaking about, and the mantle plumes we established were the birth channel of the gods and the goddesses of planet Earth, who in turn sexually reproduced the African race, the Ethiopian race, kinky head race on the planet, and that there were two different birth channels on the planet, one in the Pacific Ocean and one at the source of Lake Victoria in equatorial Africa. So those two locations are the two locations that would birth beings, animals, beings, or whatever the case may have you. I don't know if we discussed what a subduction zone is, but
Not really.
we didn't discuss that, right?
No, because no, we you talked, but I think you saying we come back, you was gonna deal with how, like you said, the plumes and how all that stuff in Lake Victoria.
I'm sorry? You cutting out. You there?
They have.
I think your reception cutting in and out. I don't know if that's happening to if anybody else is hearing him cut in and out. You guys hearing him cut in and out too? Oh, it's just me. Hold on. So,
All right, I'm back.
oh, you back? All right, cool.
Yeah, I think he was talking about the type of life that comes up at the bottom.
All right. So let's get to the whole thing real quick. All right. So you guys see this picture right here. This is inside of the introduction to the nature, written by Afro Unu. These books you can get and read on the websites noopooh and find9news.com. But this right here is a half section. The top is cut off of the planet, and we can see here that the blob brain is in the middle. Then you have the spontaneous membrane, the non-nature clay, the 6 ether clay, and you have the 2 birth channels. You got 1 birth channel, which being the womb right here, and the birth channel going all the way up to the rocks. This is where the 9 ether clay, this is where our ancestors were born. And you have the 6 ether clay, where the ancestors of the other races of people were born. And the reason being is because 9 ether clay is much more potent than 6 ether clay. And I'm gonna show you in a minute why it's more potent as far as the clay is concerned. All right. But if you guys see here, there's a section called the water inlet, right? And it wouldn't be fair if we moved on and we didn't explain, you know, these water inlets and what they actually do, and what do they, you know, how do they contribute to the womb and life on planet Earth in general. Because we know that the base for life is having water, fire, and those type of minerals that can combine in this things. Like you need moistness and you need darkness in order to create organisms on the planet. All right, so let's go to what this particular inlet would be and why do they call it an inlet. All right, so we're gonna cut the screen sharing off real quick. All right, then we're gonna go to, thought I had it pulled up already, but I'm hoping that you guys are, you know, having a good night. Sorry that we came on so late. We were trying to get this information together as soon as possible, and it just didn't happen that way. Thank you guys as always. And our job, you know, as liberators is to help you guys to get, you know, clearer understanding about nature science. It's already clear inside the books, but then sometimes you want to have a clearer understanding as to, you know, what it is that you're viewing in the nature book. Sometimes it may be, even though it's not complex, sometimes it may be complex to the person that's viewing it. And there's other avenues that you can use to help just to see it a little better, you know, maybe some images and things of that nature. So I'm gonna play a quick little video. All right, hold on, I'm gonna play a quick little video so that you guys can see or listen to what a subduction zone is. All right, give me 1 second. Where's the screen for? Okay, here we go. Let me know if you guys can hear the video.
Hi, I'm Jessica here at Nautilus Mission Control at the Inner Space Center in Rhode Island. During this expedition season, we'll be visiting some subduction volcanoes off the coasts of Greece and Italy. And here's the science behind how they're formed. It all starts when seawater seeps down into the cracks within the sea floor. This changes the composition of the ocean crust, making it saturated. There are areas on the Earth's surface where the ocean crust is forced down beneath another tectonic plate, and this is called a subduction zone. At a subduction zone, the saturated ocean floor is pushed to regions of high temperature and pressure, an environment ripe for volcano formation. Under these conditions, the ocean crust begins to change, and it releases a water.
Can you guys see the video though? Can you see the video?
You just see, we just hear the voice and it's showing Nautilus live.
But you don't see the video itself, right? Because there's a video to it. Let me see something. I don't know why.
I was thinking that something looked like some water. Was that the planet?
Yeah, hold on. Let me try to screen share it again.
Hi, I'm Jessica here at Nautilus.
It's not letting me do. It's not letting me do the full screen one. So I'm gonna exit the full screen one, and I'm gonna just play it like this.
Try to shoot it again. You know how they do.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it like this.
Hi, I'm Jessica here at Nautilus Mission Control at the Inner Space Center in Rhode Island. During this expedition season, we'll be visiting some subduction volcanoes off the coasts of Greece and Italy. And here's the science behind how they're formed. It all starts when seawater seeps down into the cracks within the sea floor. This changes the composition of the ocean crust, making it saturated. There are areas on the Earth's surface where the ocean crust is forced down beneath another tectonic plate, and this is called a subduction zone. At a subduction zone, the saturated ocean floor is pushed to regions of high temperature and pressure, an environment ripe for volcano formation. Under these conditions, the ocean crust begins to change, and it releases a watery mix that was stored inside it. This water combines with the rock above, melting it and forming small pockets of melted rock. These pockets travel up into the overlying plate, forming magma chambers. This magma continues to move through different layers of crust, changing composition as it goes. And when it finally reaches the surface, it creates a powerful volcanic eruption. This Nautilus expedition season, we will be exploring underwater volcanoes, looking for hydrothermal vents and taking water, gas, and geologic samples to look at the chemical composition of the rocks and water. These analyses help us track the activity of the volcanoes. And in addition to using the data for scientific research purposes, we hope our work on the Nautilus will help provide warning for future volcanic eruptions. Again, I'm Jessica here at Nautilus Mission Control. Stay tuned at nautiluslive.org for more live exploration.
All right, so you guys heard from the Caucasian, you know, what the subduction zone is. All right. She did a pretty good explanation of it. So let's get back to, because there's a couple of videos I'm gonna play tonight, because it'll be much easier for someone to explain it. All right, so the water inlet, as you guys see and know, is the subduction zone. That's where water goes in to the ground. So now a lot of people might say, okay, well, the mantle is, you know, several, you know, up to, you know, 1,000 degrees Celsius, close to, you know, sometimes 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit and things of that nature. How can water exist down in such hot zones? Now, scientists found that there's actually more water under the planet than there is on the surface of the planet. And this water takes on a different form in rocks. So now we see that rocks can be water. Now, what in the world are you talking about, Noot? What in the world are you talking about with water rocks? Well, let's find out what these rocks are. It's important to know, and it's important to know these rocks and to understand that these rocks change. All right. I'm pulling it up.
You want me to try to show it? You can email me the link.
I didn't hear you. Your phone.
If you want me to try to show it, you can email me the link. I can see it on my screen.
No, I had to pull it up. All right. Let me know if you see that. It's called ringwoodite. All right. So ringwoodite is a high pressure phase of magnesium silicate. That formula that you see right there is magnesium silicate. All right. Mg2Si04. All right. Formed at a high temperatures and pressures of the Earth's mantle between 525 and 660 kilometers. That's approximately 326 and 410 miles depth or deep. It is a polymorphous with the olivine phase of forsterite. A magnesium iron silicate. Ringwoodite is notably for being able to contain hydroxide ions, oxygen and hydrogen atoms bound together within its structure. Combined with evidence of its occurrence deep in the Earth mantle, this suggests that there is from 1 to 3 times the world's oceans equivalent of water in the mantle transition zone from 410 to 610 kilometers deep. You hear that, guys? So there's more water in the planet in this transition zone than it is on top of the planet, and they exist in the form of rocks. So water itself can be inside of rocks itself. All right, I want you guys to keep that in mind, that the Earth's mantle keeps minerals, keeps different formulas inside of rocks, like a cage or a shell or eggshell. All right, so here we go. This mineral was first identified in the Tenham meteorite in 1969 and is inferred to be present in large quantities in the Earth's mantle. Ringwoodite was named after the Australian earth scientist Ted Ringwood, who studied polymorphic phase transitions in the common mantle minerals olivine and pyroxene at pressures equivalent to the depth as great as about 600 kilometers. Olivine, woodsillite, and ringwoodite are polymorphs found in the upper mantle of the Earth at greater depths than about 660 kilometers. Other minerals, including some of the thing they call it perovskite structure, are stable. The properties of these minerals determine many of the properties of the mantle. All right, so I'm gonna play another video real quick about this ringwoodite. All right, how many people knew that water could be inside of rocks under the planet? And they call this the fourth form of water. That's the amazing thing about this. Oh, give me 1 second. It's important to
Is the video gonna show this time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I had a short video. I don't know what I did with the short video.
Because they said they find these on meteorites too.
Yeah, so water can
It's
be
showing blue.
Yeah, water can be trapped in these All right, so I guess
as well.
this is another video. It's about 4 minutes long, but I'm gonna let this one play out.
Scientists have thought for a while now that there may be water trapped within the Earth's mantle. Yeah, a secret ocean underneath our oceans, inside the Earth. This would change our common understanding of what the Earth looks like on the inside. And now there's new evidence that provides even more support for this idea, and that has geoscientists of all kinds wondering how Earth's hidden oceans could have formed. And get this, the new evidence? It's diamonds. Back in 2014, scientists discovered diamonds that contain water-bearing minerals. These diamonds were brought up into human range from deep within the Earth's transition zone, around 640 kilometers below the Earth's surface. So this was pretty remarkable. I mean, how did water get trapped in something that far down? Well, when we're talking about water here, we're not talking about the liquid water that we're familiar with. It's actually the different elements that make up water, hydrogen and oxygen, bound into the crystalline structure of a solid mineral, which is where we get the term water-bearing minerals. See, the Earth's mantle moves by convection, meaning that hot magma rises and pushes other parts of the mantle down further into the Earth. When these water-bearing minerals get pushed down because of this convection activity, the increased pressure literally wrings the water out of them, this time as water we would probably recognize. The initial conjecture that there may be some water deep within the Earth was confirmed by the 2014 diamond discovery, and then backed up with seismic data. The seismic readings were consistent with the idea that there was water in the mantle and that it contributes to the mantle's behavior. But more recently, even more diamonds! These new jewels pulled up from the Earth's depths actually do contain water, but in a totally new form that we've never observed before. These diamonds from several locations across southern Africa and China contain tiny inclusions of a form of water called ice 7, an extremely high pressure form of water that scientists refer to as water ice. This is the first time we've ever actually observed this form of water in nature. The researchers say these new diamonds support the presence of at least what they're calling aqueous pockets of water throughout the mantle. So not only is there water definitely inside the Earth, but also it may be in a totally novel form of water that we've never observed in nature before. I feel like that leads us to two important questions. So what? And how did it get there? Well, one answer kind of addresses both. The main theory for how we have water on Earth at all is that it got brought to us by rogue asteroids containing water-bearing minerals crashing into us from the far reaches of our solar system. The theory goes that when the Earth was forming, our solar system was probably too hot for any water molecules to survive and cling to the space dust that would become the Earth. So water had to have been brought to us from off-planet after the Earth formed. But these new diamonds could upend that.
The sun brought that
Some
water to
scientists
the
now
planet.
estimate that the mantle might contain more water than all of the Earth's surface oceans combined, which is way more water than could have been pulled via convection from the surface of the Earth into the mantle in the given time frame. We may need to re-examine our theories about the state of the solar system at the time the Earth was forming. Maybe it was possible for water to survive and cling to dust and rock as it coalesced to form the Earth. Maybe there's an entirely different theory that we haven't thought of yet. We're still unsure of the exact amount of water in the mantle or what form it might be in. Scientists plan to keep exploring, though, both with seismic measurements and lab experiments that try to simulate the materials and pressures that we would find inside the Earth. And, of course, looking for and examining diamonds. Not the kind that you would put in a ring, but, of course, the kind that contain hydrous minerals, a girl's true best friend. Fun fact, the materials that primarily make up the Earth's mantle are called wadsleyite and ringwoodite, both water-bearing minerals whose structure leaves them prone to gapping, letting researchers think of them a bit like a sponge that's holding the mantle's water. For more awesome Earth science, subscribe to Seeker, and check out this video here about the massive asteroid currently headed for Earth. Thanks for watching.
All right, all right. So
I think she
Yeah.
said they discovered
Huh?
this in what 2004.
2000 and
There's just been more
Hold on.
engagement
I still
and
got
more
this thing
interest in
playing.
what we're
Hold on.
doing. And so anytime you can get kids more interested in whatever it is you're teaching them, usually grades improve.
My bad, it was still playing. Yeah, so
What it was called? Riddle. What it was called? Riddle.
you said what?
What was they? What did they call it? Riddle White? I forgot.
Oh, Ringwoodite. But that was in the
Ringwoodite.
19
Okay.
that was when that Australian scientist, they named it after him. This was first found in 1969. Ringwoodite. It's a mineral or rock that contains water.
And it has diamonds and stuff down there, purple, gray, blue. I think we was talking about this last time.
Mhm.
I think I told you I found some research on the recycling.
On the what?
And the heat. Remember I told you I was watching the video on across the water, the oxygen and the heat, and
Mhm.
it produced diamonds down there.
Yeah, what you call it? I don't know if it's your reception or it's me, but your phone keep diving in and out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but it was diving in and out. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just saying that the research I was doing on crustal recycling was saying because of the heat and the oxygen in the mantle.
Yeah, you cut out again. Or maybe it's mine. I don't know. Can everybody hear him? I don't know. Or maybe it's my phone. Oh, okay. I thought it was me. All right. So yeah, that's his phone. All right. So ringwoodite is where this water inside of the rocks reside, right? So now let's go to the nature books real quick. Do you want, matter of fact, you want to say anything before we move on from this from the water inlet? Because I wanted to show them, where the ocean water goes down into the planet, and water is in the planet. And even in the video where the young lady was describing what was taking place, she was letting it be known that water came from an outside source on the planet as well. And in the nature books, it was known that the sun gave water to the planet. So I don't know if you want to move on or you want to say something before we move on.
Because what you was doing, if you got some more videos on that topic, I can wait and then I can bring in.
Nah, I was gonna move on from that, but if you want to go ahead and start it up, go ahead.
All right. Let me share my screen. But yeah, I was saying that when I was doing the crustal recycling research, you were saying because of the heat and the oxygen down there, it was causing the earth to produce purple diamonds because of that. And I just seen that with this redite thing, that they saying that it's different colors, diamonds, and purple was one of them, blue and gray. But let me see. Let me know if you can see that.
Yeah.
You can see it?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Hold on. My phone is acting up. Okay. All right. So this is the picture of the planet cut. And as you can see, I put the little arrows on it so people can be able to understand. You're talking about the 9 ether clay, the 6 ether clay, and what Noot was talking about. You can see the inlet. And if, like I said, y'all have to go back on to that part about the seduction zone and look into that. But it shows you about it's different types of ways scientists confirm that the tectonic plates move. Some move apart, and then some move toward each other. And when they do, one part of the plates goes up, and another part of the plate goes down. And that's a constant movement. So if you know anything about tectonic plates, that's basically showing you that the underneath the continents that it's a constant moving, and some of this stuff produces earthquakes and things like that. And volcanoes come from a lot of this because it's movement and lava and all these different things are moving up from these cracks and things that come from these pieces of land hitting each other and pushing one down, another one up, or there's a pulling away. So anyway, so basically you can see me moving my mouse.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so basically like you're saying, underneath all of that, you will see like on another part of the picture of the planet, that's what they're talking about, is movement going on underneath the surface. So I'm taking it back to where is that? With Canoon.
Mm.
I'm just waiting for the screen. Let me know when y'all can see that.
You can see.
Okay, you can see it. Canoon. Okay, I'm still waiting for it.
I don't see Kamnoom. I see the planet still, the cut section
All right, Cole, give me a second. Hold on.
with the red arrow and the purple arrow.
Okay, let me switch it out. Hold on. Hold on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Give me a second, y'all. How about now?
Yeah, I see Canoon on Wikipedia, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So it says here that the ancient Egyptian Boonoo, or Koine Greek, also romanicized as Khnemu, was one of the earliest known Egyptian deities, or Kemet, originally the god of the source of the Nile. Since the annual flooding of the Nile brought with it silt and clay, and its water brought life to its surroundings, he was thought to be the creator of the bodies of human children, which he made at a potter's wheel from clay and placed in the mother's uterus. He later was described as having molded the other deities, and he had the titles divine, potter, and lord of created things from himself. So what they basically telling you is that the bodies was made from the clay and then placed in the womb. So give me a second to bring this up to par. All right, where is it? Where is it? So I'm just bringing y'all back to the picture real quick. So as you can see, we already explained in the last two videos, you can see the clay here. This is the 9 ether clay. And remember, the ancient Egyptians tell you there that the Ennead was 9 gods, but we're going to explain that later on. But it tells you, talks about 9, and it tells you that the other gods, he formed other gods as well. The way they told the story is kind of backwards, because actually our ancestor, the picnic gods and goddesses, actually came first, but because we are in the human zone, they doing it that way. So he said humans first, and then he formed the old other gods first. But this is, if you look at the top of the picture, it says birthplace of the gods and goddesses, and it's right above where that runs into the Nile River or the Nine River. And that's the birth. So he tells you he created the bodies in clay and then put it in the womb. And if you look real good, right above the can y'all see my mouse?
Yep.
All right, right above, if you look at where the purple line comes down, where the A is at for water, and go a little bit to the left, you see that word?
What? Oh, spontaneous?
No. Right above
Womb?
spontaneous is a word.
Womb?
Right, womb. Just want people to see that. That's the word, that's the womb right there. I just want them, I'm gonna just draw something to it. Right here. So you see it? That's the womb. So again, it's not saying that Khnum was a person. It's just talking about the way the clays are made inside the earth, and that the egg, and it's not a he per se, but it's talking about the function of the earth. Even, and I'm gonna show you how all this ties in. So that's the womb. So you can see the clay, and then the eggs are produced from Mother Goddess Earth, and she produces the eggs from the 9 clay, and they go into the water, right? The inlet, the water, the womb, and then they go all the way up and come out where Lake Victoria is. Just want to make sure that everybody can see that. Now, when you go to I'm gonna do this real quick, just for for repetition purposes.
Khnum also is the brain Noot god that they're talking about, because what's happening is that we have to understand that the brain Noot gods are the ones that are actually at work here, and the brain Noot gods are basically just atoms, that what we would call in conventional science as atoms, and these atoms basically transform these different clays and rocks and minerals and things like that into creating human beings. There's no formulas for human beings right now in the planet, because it's and I'm gonna show you guys why there's no formula for it right now, but later on it will manifest into formulas for human beings later on. because all the material is down there. It's just that it's not enough heat to bring it together. But keep going, Ken.
Okay, so I'm I don't know if let me try to get back to it. Let's go one more time. I changed the screen. What you see?
Oh, I see Ta.
All right, good. You see it? All right, good. All right, it says this article is a list. Okay, it goes down. It's in Egyptian mythology, Ta, right? Probably vocalized as Ptah in ancient Egyptian, is the demiurge of Memphis, the god of craftsman and architect in the tribe of Memphis. He is the husband of Sekhmet and the father of Nefertum. He also regarded as the father of the sage Imhotep. So it used the word demiurge, right? Demiurge. Let me break that down real quick. Let me see. I might not have to change it. Let me know if y'all see the screen change.
Yeah, I see demiurge.
All right. So it says in the Platonic, Neo-Pythagorean, Middle Platonic, and Neoplatonic schools of philosophy, the demiurge is an artisan-like figure responsible for fashioning and maintaining the physical universe. The Gnostics adopted the term demiurge. Although a fashioner, the demiurge is not necessarily the same as the creative figure in the monoistic sense, because the demiurge itself and the material from which the demiurge fashions the universe are both considered to be consequences of something else. Depending on the system, they may be considered to be either uncreated and internal or product of some other entity. The word demiurge is an English word derived from demiurgus, a Latinized form of the Greek, or demiurgos. It was originally a common noun meaning crescent, but gradually came to mean producer and eventually creator. The philosophical usage and the proper noun derived from Plato's Timaeus, written 360 BC, where the demiurge is presented as the creator of the universe. The demiurge is also described as the creator in the Platonic and Middle Platonic philosophical traditions in the various branches of the Neoplatonic school, 3rd century onward. The demiurge is the fashioner of the real perceptible world after the model of the ideals, but in most Neoplatonic systems is still not itself the one. In the arch-dualist ideology of the various Gnostic systems, the material universe is evil, while the non-material world is good, according to some strains of Gnosticism. But anyway, when you get into Platonicism and all of that, that's the people who came from Rome and Greece, who learned from the Phoenicians and the mystery schools, and they go into getting things in codes. And once they bring that stuff out into the public, it has different meanings. So Ta is considered a demiurge. So when you look at the picture that they have of Ta, that's actually not the real depiction. So to understand what it is that I'm trying to say is, we're gonna go into the nature books. Did it go back to Ta for y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So now we're going to go into the nature books real quick. Just let me know if you can see that.
Not yet.
Just let me know when it changes. You still there?
Mm-hmm. But it didn't go.
All right, I'm trying to find where was. Oh no, I can't even see the Google Hangout thing. Wait a minute. How was that possible? Wait a minute. Okay, here we go. Let me get that out the way. 1 second, people. 1 moment in time. Okay. Should be to see it now. Did it change?
Yeah.
All right. Because I could see you, but I can't see you.
My bad. Hello?
Okay, that's it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I see.
All right, you can see it?
No.
Okay, you showing the
Oh, when I talk, it's gonna come off. So just leave.
yeah. It shouldn't, but
It's red underline that you showing?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now it's your face, now it's a name.
It should be clicking back in a second. Can y'all see the nature book?
Mm-hmm.
All right, this thing is kind of slow. All right, it says, if start from verse 36, listen to reason. Nature is all, and all is nature, and that is all there is. Time is as perfect as those it provides continuity of existence for. Space and matter, since time is the continuation of both, basically as continuity of space-time is constant, but as continuity of matter-time is constant, variant, and changeable. In ancient times, the scientists of the Ethiopian race philosophically identify all space, matter, and time with the sun, earth, and moon of our solar system and personify them as Ta, Atum, and Tahuta, respectively. So what we're focusing on is Ta. So in Noon science, Ta is the sun. And so remember, as we read in Wikipedia and even in Platonus in the Platonic schools, they all agree that Ta is the fashioner, the creator. But when you read further on, they classify Ta as a demiurge, which means that there's a force that is creating things and is the physical creator of the universe. So a Noot, if you will, tell them what the beginning of the nature book says.
What are you talking about? In the beginning was the sons?
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning were the sons, and the sons are nature, and the sons are with. Hold on, let me make sure I get it right though. Hold on. Let me make sure I get it right. Yeah, in the beginning were the sons, and the sons are with nature, and the sons are nature, and the sons, the true stars, are the gods who grew absolute nature into universe order.
Right. So now Noon explains that not one Ta or demiurge grew the universe, because the universe is very big, and a solar system is a part of that. And it takes many solar systems and galaxies to make up a universe. So one star can't do it. It's plenty of them, male and female. And so now we know that Ta in Noon is the sun. So then let's go back. Let's go back. Did the screen change yet?
No.
All right, hold on. Did it change yet?
No, Noot still showing.
Okay, hold on.
It changed.
What is it underlined?
Okay, now this is coming out of the 9-ball book. It's coming out the 9-ball book 4, count 4, 32 through 36. And it says, right along with the nature book, and this came out before the nature books in the 70s, which Afro-Uno wrote this under the name Boonoo Rakata. It said, all true stars, the true stars of the universe are the suns. Do not have a solar system. Some suns are just stabilizers and light and life givers in the universe. But those like our sun in this part of the universe are growers and centers of solar systems. When a sun that is going to have a solar system has grown big enough and strong enough, it begins to put the matter and chaos surrounding it into order by forming a magnetic core. So this is what the Greeks and when they were in the mystery schools, this is how they were taught about what took place in the actual universe or the solar system itself, and that they called Ta
magnetic core, the iron core too.
Right. Which I just want to make sure they understand that when we say Ta, in this particular case, this is the sun, whom we call Repu in this in Noon science, but in ancient times the sun was called Ta. And it says it began to put the matter and chaos surrounding it in order by forming a magnetic core, which is the what you said it was, the iron?
The iron core, the iron and nickel core.
Right. Which is the center of a planet. And look at the next word it says, and doing what?
Rolling.
See, that's what you need to understand. As the sun is forming the planet, it's making the matter that's left from around the sun after it grew itself from the chaotic matter. Then it takes the other matter and forms the core around the blob or the brain of the planet. And that's that rolling. It continues. It doesn't stop. But he said the sun starts rolling that magnetic core against the matter of what? Primeval chaos, which is not yet in order and surrounding the sun. Right? A planet grows until all the matter in its immediate area has been formed into the orb. Then the power of the sun ignites the planet and releases its attraction on the planet, and the weight of the planet moves the orb away from the sun. The planet moves farther and farther away from the sun until it displaces its own weight in the atmosphere of the sun, as an object does in water. An object will sink in water until it displaces its own weight in that water, then it stops and floats. When the planet displaces its own weight in the atmosphere as an object does in water, it is in orbit, and then it floats around the sun, its grower and controller indefinitely.
Forever.
That's right. And he keep using the term water, but watch now. When the sun is growing the planets, it uses all matter available, and of course that includes all gases, chemicals, and elements in sight. But the compound water is separated from the other elements because the compound known as water lessens the burning ability of the other elements by weakening their potency.
That's the rocks. It's separated inside the rocks.
That's right. That's why I brought this together when I heard you saying that. I said this will go perfect. Moreover, water is necessary in the forming of the satellites and is needed in the forming of flesh and blood beings. So it's two things is why the sun separates that. Because the moon has to be hard enough to be able to come from out of there. Because like you said, the water has to be separated so it can be enough burning. Because we know in Noon that life is a burner and the moon is alive at this point, and it has to have enough fire given to it in order for it to have proper life. And so then it says, then the flesh and blood beings, which is our ancestors, is also in the 9 clay. And like you said, if life is a burning, then that water will definitely interfere with that, because it have to be a certain temperature in order for them to come out alive on arrival. Okay, it said when the planet orbits the sun and starts its eternal rotation around the 9 ball, the planet is a burning ball, and that ball burns and burns until the burning goes beneath the surface of the planet as a fire does in a burning coal. When the burning goes beneath the surface, here we go, and the planet cools from its burning, the sun pushes the Earth's share of water into the orb's magnetic or gravitational field, and it begins to rain and rain and rain. As this water goes beneath the surface of the planet and reaches the gases and chemicals in the earth, which are still burning, pressure begins to build up, and eventually the results are a series of tremendous, violent explosions which send parts of the earth into orbit around the planet. Then the sun, by the laws of nature, draws these parts together and grows these parts together by rain, water, and heat. This is showing you how the sun make moons. Because of what comes from the earth, the sun uses its power and its heat and water to form and grow the moons. And remember, Boonoo said that all moons are not born directly from the planet, but the rocks that comes from the explosion is how that's done. All right, so this is 34. Let me go to the next one.
Oh man. Oh, I hope y'all guys listening to this, man. This is powerful information. This is good stuff.
Let me know when you see it change.
Not yet.
All right.
There we go.
All right. It said, however, those parts of Earth that did not have enough force behind them to go into space and become part of the moon fell back to Earth and formed mountains and other high places. Yet all mountains were not formed this way. Some mountains are the results of heat pressure pushing parts of the Earth upward, but never becoming powerful enough for violent explosion. Of course, after those series of tremendous explosions, great craters and cracks were left in the earth, and it is easy to see how they will become oceans, rivers, lakes, and streams, since the rains kept falling until those craters and crevices were filled enough with water. Now the stage was set and ready for other life. So you know that's definitely talking about Lake Victoria. All ingredients needed for various types of life was given Mother Earth while she was growing in primeval chaos. And when the earth caught fire and was going through a heat process, the rains came and eggs were formed in the waters of earth by the nature of nature through action of alpha bombardment, etc., which combined the formulas necessary for life.
See? Hold on. You remember what I was telling you guys earlier, that the eggs are not formed yet? You remember what I said that earlier when I was telling you guys about the different rocks under the ground and in the what you call it, in the mantle, when I told you it's not hot enough yet in order for them to combine into egg formula. So right now it's like scattered. It's like a bunch of eggs that are cracked, right? But they didn't come together. It's like putting a tray of eggs together and it fell on the floor. You understand? So the formula for all of that is there, but it's scattered. But I'm gonna show you guys that in the after you finish with this book. Continue reading. I just wanted to interject that real quick.
All right, so it says vegetation came up first, for it was necessary for food and protection for the flesh and blood beings that followed. Next was the dwarf being now called the African pygmies. These dwarf Nubians were born from the source of the Nile River, meaning the Nile River in Africa. So this setting everything up. And even if you read the Bible right, it follows the same thing. It talks about the water being separated from the water. And a lot of people think that that's talking about, you know, the sky, but it's actually not. It's just separating the water from the rocks, which is below, and the water above, which is on the surface. Because if you read, it tells you that the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. So the water was already there on the planet based upon how the writers edited that. So that means when you go further into the creation, you can see that they move things around because you got water in the heavens and then you got water underneath. But it's really how they twisting it around. But the water was already here. But it's a separation, and here in Noon it explains the actual order, because you have to have water after the heat cools down. You have to have in the rain that they say that the Bible said that the Lord caused the mist to come up from the ground and water everything because it wasn't a man there to till the ground. That's just all they're doing is talking about the sun, which caused the rain to come to cool down the planet and to fill all those craters and things up that the explosions made. Because you got to understand that once our ancestors came up from the Nile, they would be a course go around the whole planet. So the sun had to make sure he had put food and vegetables and nuts and berries and water all around, because they weren't going to be on the same part of the planet trapped. So this is what the sun was doing, that religion is calling God created this and saw that it was good, and did this and saw that it was good. All of this is the sun is the God of these religions. But in this case, I'm just using the Bible as an example, in that the more you get into Noon, the more you understand how all of these things work. So now we have this talking about the ancestors are going to be born from the Nile River, which the first and the second videos that we did on this talked about that. So we got that. I'm almost done. All right, let me go to the next one. I got like 3 more, and then you can finish up. Let me switch it out. So let me know when it change. I hope everybody's able to keep up a little bit. I'm trying to explain this as much as I can with visuals, and maybe using the Bible as a support as far as to kind of help you understand the order, and that really everything that Noon is explaining, religion has told it to us, but the way they wrote it, they left out a lot of pertinent information. Also, because religion is outdated, it leaves a great space for imagining. And then that's when the Decepticons come and they utilize the ignorance and the outdatedness of these books to put things in there, and your mind will flow to it, because that's all you can grasp in your day and time. So, but Noon is here to update all religions and pantheons and put them in the proper order. And everybody don't have to sit here and worry and be frantic about their dying religion, because Noon is the life of life, science. All right. Did it change? Hello? Noot.
Yeah, my bad. I had it on mute because I.
Okay.
But yeah, it changed.
Did it change?
Yeah, it changed.
Okay, cool. All right. It says hold on. Listen to reason. After the birth of a living being, there's growth plus further development of that being, and part of the growth and development of universe universes after their birth is the origin, growth, and development of the planets and satellites of the solar system to be in the universes. Our star Sol, the sun, is one of the true stars of the universe who grew a solar system. After the stars of the galaxies and constellation were born by jetting out tongues, flames of non-ether into the gas field, the atmosphere of the universes, the suns who produce solar system had to use up the chaotic matter still surrounding themselves. So the solar system suns concentrated on putting or growing their chaotic matter into order by activating brain newts into cores that would be the brain centers of the planets, which Noot just said about 20 minutes ago, because this is what's operating inside of the clay. This is what people don't understand. This is what the ancestors were calling Kanoon, but that the brain nukes is in the clay itself and is rotating. So yes, everything is moving, but the brain nukes is in there moving things around and activating. And it said that they will be the brain centers of the planets, and the sun, rolls each core against the formless matter surrounding the cores until each growth formula is complete. Then the planet catches fire by spontaneous combustion, automatic ignition, by help of the sun, and the sun orbits, spins off the flaming planets into the gas field. Let it be remembered always, and let it be known. Two more to go. All right, sharing the screen again. Let me know when you can see it.
Yes, sir.
You see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So listen to reason. After each growth formula, in this case, he's identifying the formula, which is the planet, is complete as a universe orbiting planet. The sun helps them spin off, and they move away from the sun until most surely they displace their own weight in the gas field atmosphere of the magnetic field of the sun. And that's basically the gas field is basically is the heliosphere. If you look that up, let me just let y'all see what the gas field of the sun, what he talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all can see that. So give me a moment.
Yeah, we touched on this a while back too about this gas field.
Yeah, I forgot. We wrote on it too. I can't remember. We done did so much.
The rocket equation. It's a beautiful thing. No
Give me a
astronaut
second.
launches through space with their finger. Like region of smoke blow or media encountering the termination shot called the heliopause. The overall shape of it.
Let me see. Heliosphere. Let me see an image real quick. All right. Where is the? All right, give me a second. I'm trying to find. You still there?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to. I got this window. I'm trying to find where you at. I can hear you, but I can't. Oh, here we go. All right. Give me a second. No, I was just trying to find the hangout screen.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was. All right, I'm here, y'all. Just give me a moment. Let me know when y'all can see it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Can y'all see that?
Mm-hmm.
You see it, D? That's the heliosphere. And the sun is already, remember the sun is first. So the sun is already sending out this heat, like you can see right here. This is the heat coming from the sun. And once they put the planet in motion and all this stuff, the sun, the earth has like the magnetosphere, the heliosheath, all this right here is to protect the planet from being totally incinerated by the heat of the sun. So all of that, I don't know if you can see it yet. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is what they call a heliosphere. So the sun's put it on fire, then pushes out, and the sun and the planet is inside the heat, and that's part of that ongoing heat is already there as it spins and rotates. So they got, like I said, there's different little pictures. Here's another one. It's giving y'all different pictures of it. I'm gonna go into it in a second. All right, so y'all see that this is what they call a gas field because the sun is emitting that. Can y'all see it? And see this right here, they call this the terminal shock, but all this stuff is the gas that the sun puts out over all of the planets. It goes all the way out. You can see that, Noot?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me read a little bit on what the heliosphere is. It said the heliosphere is a bubble in space blown into the interstellar medium, the hydrogen and helium gas that fill the galaxy. See, remember we just read where it said that the sun helps these spin off and they move away from the sun until mostly surely they displace their own weight in the gas field or atmosphere of the magnetic field of the sun like an object. So we know that this is the heliosphere. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It says that, and although electricity neutral atoms from the interstellar volume can pass through this bubble, almost all of the material in the heliosphere comes from the sun itself. For the first 10 billion kilometers of its radius, the solar wind travels at over 1 million kilometers per hour. As it begins to drop out with the interstellar medium, it slows down before finally stopping altogether. The point where the solar wind slows down is called the terminal shock. The point where the interstellar medium solar and pressure balance is called the heliopause. The point where the interstellar medium traveling in the opposite direction slow down, it collides with the heliosphere and the bow shock. So basically, right here, let me know when y'all see that picture again. You see it, right? You can see it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, right up at the top, you see that's the heliopause. That means look how far that is from the sun. The sun is here. So you know the sun is 93 million miles away from planet Earth. So you know this is even further. But this is how much gas,
How much power it has.
it has, right? But this is the gas field, and that's how far it goes. But even right here, the terminal shock, that covers the whole solar system. So the sun pushes all of these planets into their rotation, but they always inside of this is the gas field. In order for something to continuously burn, you got to have what? Heat and gas. So you got to cut this. The sun already have enough gas around it to keep the flames popping. And then as it burns, it cools off the planet and it becomes denser. All right, so let me go to the last one, I think. Yeah. This is the last part of what I just read.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me go back.
Oh, it's gonna be a smoker tonight.
All right, let me know when you see the change.
Yeah, I see the nature books.
All right, it said the growths of the planets and their satellites will be given in future writings of Noon by the writer of this volume. For it is true that this book is just an introduction to Noon, called Book One. Of course, Noon is the science of knowledge. Let it be remembered always and let it be known. So that's my presentation. And I just wanted everybody to just understand that Sound Right Reason worked through Alpha Unu to do all this work to go out and put this information together. And so also to dispel any spookism about how everything was formed and how we got here, our ancestors got here and how we here today, which is, again, like we said, dealing with the out of Africa versus out of America. They would have to do the same thing, which it can't be done because the way the continents wasn't even there at the time, from primordial times. It wasn't even like that. Plus the way the planet brings up land, drops land down. It does that in this lifetime. So they would have to produce undeniable evidence to be able to explain things from this side versus that side. But we'll deal with that on a later date. Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, we're just gonna play about 2 videos until the next one, and then we're gonna go on to maybe a part. Not maybe, we will go on to a part 4 because this thing, it keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So we're gonna have to do a part 4, unfortunately. But I felt like it was something very important that need to be mentioned because we went into the water, we went into every single thing that we needed to get into. And one of the parts of the nature books that you read that was very important was the eggs were formed by alpha bombardment. All right. So let's find out what alpha bombardment is. I'll play a video real quick.
Now, this is one of the more complicated. This problem is not just simple.
Hold on.
Now,
this video about 3 minutes long.
You gonna share it?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Let me know if you could see the screen. See the screen with the video?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
this is one of the more complicated kinds of problems that we'll do.
Yeah, I don't see it.
It's not simple one little particle leaving or splitting spontaneously. This is a process where we have a nucleus bombarded with a different nucleus. So in other words, we're going to smash 2 nuclei together and see what happens. And the 2 nuclei that we smash together, we're going to start with those. So they're both going to come before the arrow.
Okay, you good.
And so we are going to start with U238. That's number 92. And this time we're going to add to it. We're going to hit it with a carbon 12 nucleus. So what's carbon 12? Well, it's carbon, and 12 is the mass number, and we know that the carbon has 6 protons. So that's what we're starting with. We're going to bombard, we're going to smash those 2 things together and see what happens. And so we're told that we are going to make a new nuclide. Doesn't tell us what that is. We're going to figure that out. But we're also told that it's going to give off 4 neutrons. So the way we show that, we have 4 neutrons, and a neutron symbol has a mass of 1 and a Z number, atomic number of 0. And so it's going to look like that. So this is a coefficient. We show that there are 4 neutrons by putting the big number 4 out front and then putting what a neutron symbol looks like. And so now we've got to figure out, well, how do these add up? How do these all add up to equal the same on each side? So let's start with the bottom. That's a little bit easier. Before the arrow on the bottom, we have, for the atomic numbers, we have 92 and 6. So that's 98. So on the right, they have to equal 98. Well, this neutron has 0 for its atomic number, so we can ignore that. 0 plus 9 plus watt equals 98. Well, clearly the answer is 98. We need 98 on the bottom. And scribble that out. So what is element number 98? We know that's a Z number. 98 is californium. So we're going to put the symbol for californium in there, but we're not done yet. We've got to figure out which isotope of californium that is. And again, we look at the totals over here with the mass numbers here add up to 250. So over here, this has to be 250. Well, what if we got over here? Well, we've got only one, but we have 4 of them. 4 ones is 4. So 4 plus watt equals 250. Well, I would guess 246. 246 plus 4 is 250. So this adds up to 250, this adds up to 250, and that's how we know how that reaction goes.
All right. So as you can see, let me end this video. Through the process of alpha bombardment, they're showing you that new elements are being made. All right. And Alpha Boonoo basically let us know off the rip that these egg formulas in the planet are formed by alpha bombardment. But go to what is in the planet. Give me a second. I'm gonna hold on. So that's called the D layer, right? And that's below the planet. Hold on for a second. That's where the womb is. So right now the womb, as I was explaining earlier, right now the womb is okay. This is it's a nice picture. Hold on.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Oh, hold on. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Boom, boom. Oh wait. All right. I don't know if you see that. Let me know. You see that?
I could see it in the bottom of the thing.
You see like a circle, and it got like elements in there. Not elements, but it looked like it's blue and is covered in red.
Hold on, let me look. Because I'm on my computer, on my laptop, it ain't showing that. But let me I see, yeah, it's showing on my phone.
Yeah. So like we were showing earlier with the subduction zone going down into the planet, into what? Into the womb. This reaction zone between the silicone rich liquid and mantle. So what you're looking at, right, is where the eggs will be formed, right? Now, real quick, how are eggs formed? We're gonna go to a video real quick, right? And we're gonna find out how eggs are formed. I thought I had the video around here real quick. Oh, there we go. Boom. Let me go to that. Boom. Oh, I just had it. I thought I just had it. I don't need that page no more. Oh, here we go. All right. All right.
Hi, I'm Kristen
longer from Stuff Mom Never Told You, here to tell you how a chicken egg gets its shell. You know the old question about, oh, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, let's scramble that up, egg pun, and ask, well, which came first, the chicken egg or the chicken egg shell? Trick question, people. They actually grow at the same time. And the way it works is through a process that also happens with bone growth and seashell development. So what happens is there's this membrane around the egg, and on that membrane, there are evenly spaced points where columns of calcite form. And these columns stack side by side, and then they grow together like crystals, forming the complete shell out of that calcite.
Crystals.
So the calcite is basically floating in a solution around the cell once the membrane's put in place, and it deposits on the membrane to form that crystal. So the egg grows its own shell. Isn't that nifty? Who knew that eggs were so smart? I didn't. Just bring a little bit of science to your breakfast table. You're welcome. Now, if you want to see more brain stuff, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of these.
So now we see that eggs are formed from this calcium carbonate, right? And eggshells are basically crystals. All right. That's important because what are most of the rocks in the planet? They are crystals. When they come up to the surface, they crystallize. So our ancestors were born in crystals or eggshells.
I got something to add when you get through with that.
All right, hold on. I just want to, it's kind of long, but all right, I'll get to the rocks later. You could go ahead and add what you want to add real quick.
All right.
So I want them to know that just because it says, you know, eggshells, because in the nature books it's known that we were born, our ancestors were born from eggshells, but those eggshells were actually crystals. They were born in crystals. But go ahead, Ken.
All right.
Hold on. Wait. I'm gonna put this part real quick.
Go ahead.
All right. So there's a part of the nature books where Boonoo spoke about what's first, the chicken or the egg.
All right. Okay. I got something after that.
All right. So this is actually part of the nature books, Introduction to Nature Book 1, number 24. Listen to reason. It is no mystery that all flesh and blood beings develop from formulas called eggs or cells, and all vegetation sprouts from formulas known as seeds and parts of vegetation. So in answer to the question, who was or what was first, the chicken or the egg? The answer is, of course, the egg of Mother Earth was first. Mystery is just another way of saying ignorance. For instance, it is written that the Greek philosophers spoke and also wrote about something unknown and unknowable, some hidden mystery somewhere beyond the earth, moon, and stars called the One. But if the being is unknown and unknowable, how is it possible that anyone knows that it exists? The bottom line is this: the One has to be the all, with alternating controlling opposites called the nous and the logos, Zeus, the first and second emanations of the One, the all, respectively. Let it be remembered always and let it be known. So the egg formulas came first, and also the egg of Mother Earth, which is the core which rolled off the womb, which is inside of the mantle. So that's the egg of the planet. And that's, remember I was telling you guys that there's a zone inside the planet called the slab graveyard. I'm gonna pull that up real quick before you do what you got to do, right? So there's a part of the planet called the slab graveyard, right? I'm gonna pull that up real All right. Slab graveyard. There we go. All right. Pull up the images. All right. Where's the Hangout page? Let's go to sharing. Boom. All right. No, that's not it. All right, here we go. All right. So here we see the slab graveyard is down in this area right here. Right?
I'm looking.
You see it?
I see liquid outer core.
Correct. And this D layer, this recycled MORB, that's the slab graveyard. And that, hold on, let me get one that actually says slab graveyard. Give me a second. All right. You see at the bottom of the plumes, right? When you see that, you see slab graveyard?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so these when the subduction zone goes down into the core or the mantle rather, it goes into what is called a slab graveyard. So nothing is formed yet. They gave it the perfect name because somebody knows what's taking place.
Mm-hmm. They know it's dead down there.
Exactly, and it's not able to form the egg formulas yet.
Mm-hmm.
Through what they call alpha bombardment. But as time goes on, this alpha bombardment is caused by gamma rays. It's caused by gamma rays. We're going to get into that in the next episode about gamma rays causing alpha bombardment. All right. But this right here is the slab graveyard. And it recycles itself as time goes on. But we're gonna discuss that in the next episode. All right. But I'm hoping you guys seeing where this is going. And we're getting closer and closer to the answer about human beings being born from the planet. That's the alpha human beings, rather. But we're gonna get to that. So let me end the screen share for this. Slab graveyard, that's what it is. Yeah, so you ready?
Yeah, they got something else I seen
Mm-hmm.
with that right there.
Yeah, but we can't be going all night with this. We're gonna have to cut this short. So after you finish there, we're gonna end the show.
All right. So it says, like you said, with the egg and the chicken and all that good stuff. Let me know when you can see it.
Yeah, I see it.
All right. It says, listen to reason. Some people may think with so much blackness presented by the outer coverings, the skins of the African pygmy god races, where's the contrast that keep them from being dull looking? Being some people personification of the sun, their bodies shine and their face glow. Black outshines all colors anyway, because it is the source of perfection of all colors. On the images of the gods drawn in this topic, the writer left certain areas of the pictures white like paper for contrast and to enable the viewer to discern the features of the gods better. The pirate pygmy had sun-red eyes which glowed like fire, and he and she were born 2 million years after the birth of the arrow pygmy and 2 million years before the birth of the zeo pygmy. The features of the pygmy god race were basically similar except for their back and side features, which definitely distinguish one race from another, and their different skin textures played a part in the distinction. The numbers, statistics, how many born, heights, and so forth are the same for all 9 races of the African pygmy gods and goddesses. Let it be remembered. Then see, this is the next part I wanted to focus on. It said, listen to reason. There were 5 different skin textures on and among the flesh and blood race of gods and goddesses, namely the scale-like skin, the crust-like skin, you know, the planet got a crust, the feathers-like skin, the hair-like skin, and the plain thick skin. The information surrounding the images of the gods in this topic informs the viewer concerning what race has what type of skin. Nonetheless, whether the skin has scale, crust, feathers, hair, or be just plain skin, the outer covering of the gods and goddesses did outshine diamonds and gold indeed by nature. So it's just, the point is how he's contrasting that they outshine diamonds and gold, which means that they had these properties in their skin.
That's right. The rock.
To be able to show their differences in brilliancy, and to be able to see in the darkness, because it was so dark in the top half of existence at that time.
And on top of that, they was made from the clay, the same clay, same clay that creates those rocks.
Right. And they came. That's proof.
You finish. I'm gonna drop another video real quick. So
go ahead. I'm done with that. I just wanted to add that in there on the diamond thing.
Yeah, that was a banger right there. That was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. So this next video, I believe, is like 10 minutes long, but it's a good video. I'm gonna drop it real quick, and we're gonna end out with that. Hold on. We're gonna end out with that video because this is gonna be a nice one. Real quick. All right, let me go to YouTube. Oh man, y'all gonna love this next one that's coming up. But that was a good what you call it? Outshine the diamonds because they was made of it. It was made of high quality diamond.
Yep.
High quality diamond. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. It's a 10-minute video, but
if you live in the New York area
and are tired of settling with your career, now.
All right, hold on. Let me screen share real quick. Boom, boom, boom.
If you become a geographer, you'll need a basic understanding of rocks because that's how you will get to know the landform and probably the Earth's surface. So rocks are categorized under 3 families on the basis of the mode of formation. They are igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. Let's understand each one of them. So the first one is igneous rock. Now, igneous rocks are formed out of magma and lava from the interior of the Earth. So magma is also called molten rock, and it is found in the mantle of the Earth. If you remember this pic showing the different layers of Earth, mantle is filled with magma. And when magma comes out of the surface, it cools down and becomes solid. That's how the igneous rocks are born. Now, igneous rock is also known as primary rock because it is formed from magma. So anything that is formed right from the core ingredient of the Earth has to be called as primary rock. The word igneous is derived from a Latin word called ignis, which means fire. Now, mantle is filled with magma. And when magma comes out of the surface, it cools down and becomes solid. That's how igneous rocks are formed. So mantle is in a way a fire. The process of cooling and solidification can happen both in the Earth's crust as well as on the surface of the Earth. We now know that igneous rock is formed from cooling down of magma. But you need to understand this. When magma comes out of the mantle, it can sometimes just stay under the crust. It need not get out on the surface. Sometimes magma just cools down under the crust itself. That's why during open cast mining, large chunks of igneous rocks are found. Igneous rocks are classified based on texture. When we say texture, we mean something like this. Look at the color as well as design pattern. And this texture depends upon size and arrangement of grains or other physical conditions of the materials. So if you remember, while reading about physical properties of minerals, there we read that the external shape depends upon the molecular arrangement of crystals.
Here are the top 5 superfruits that you need to detox your body. Number 1.
But wait till we get to the third type of rock.
So rocks are these tiny soil debris packed together. And depending upon these debris, the color of the grains, overall external look will be dependent on it. If molten material is cooled slowly at greater depths, mineral grains may be very large. Sudden cooling at the surface results in small and smooth grains. Remember the third point where I said sometimes the magma cools down under the crust itself and does not really comes out on the surface. So when magma cools under the crust, it does become solid, but it does not get exposed to the external weathering agents like wind, river, and ice. Because of that, the mineral grains do not break, they are intact. And as it is, there is a huge amount of pressure under the crust, and plus temperature is not normal too. So in this situation, those igneous rocks that are formed under the crust or in deep depth of the earth, they tend to be very large in size. It's like as long as the rock is under the earth's surface, the pressure and temperature doesn't let the mineral debris to split apart. It keeps them intact. The intermediate conditions of cooling would result in intermediate sizes of grains, making up igneous rocks. When you look at the rocks that comes under igneous rock, I'm talking about granite, gabbro, pegmatite, basalt, volcanic breccia. All these looks different in terms of texture and composition. And it is because of the fact that all these rocks have evolved with different conditions. I mean, some cooled early, some late, some faced more pressure, some faced less, conditions like that. After all, two products will look different only if there is a change in their process of formation. How else can they be different then? So this was about the igneous rocks. Now we move on to the second type, sedimentary rocks. The word sedimentary is derived from the Latin word sedimentum, which means settling. First of all, sedimentary rocks can be easily broken down into tiny sediments of mud and soil debris. They also have the tendency to settle down in the Earth's surface easily. Rocks of the Earth's surface are exposed to denudational agents and are broken up into various sizes of fragments. These denudational agents are also referred to as exogenous forces like wind, water, ice, etc. These forces over the time erodes the rock and breaks it down into small soil debris. It happens to all types of rocks, that is igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. Such fragments are transported by different exogenous agencies and deposited. These deposits through compaction turn into rocks. This process is called lithification. Now, this process is also known as the rock cycle. I've made a video on it, do check it out. Nature has such nice way of performing this rock cycle. Rocks are eroded with the help of exogenous forces like wind, air, ice into tiny little soil debris. These debris, they move from one place to another, again with the help of the same exogenous forces. Now these small fragments gets deposited in the form of layers and layers one after another. This process creates pressure that is called compaction, and as it is, there is good amount of heat under the crust, so it becomes all the more easier for these debris to develop into a full-fledged rock. This process is called lithification. In many sedimentary rocks, the layer of deposits retain their characteristics even after lithification. Hence, we see a number of layers of varying thickness in sedimentary rocks like sandstone, shale, etc. So if you look at shale and sandstone, here it is. Notice there are line patterns depicting layers. So these are the layers of deposits. They are very much visible. It is not visible in every sedimentary rock. Now, depending upon the mode of formation, sedimentary rocks are classified into three major groups. The first one is mechanically formed. When we say mechanical, that means it follows a natural pattern. How rocks weather down, then becomes tiny soil debris, which later on with accumulation and compaction becomes a rock again. So this is a natural cycle, also known as mechanical cycle. Now, when we say organically formed, we mean
Claire is ready. Thanks to the Air France app, she has her boarding pass with her already.
Rocks formed from organic debris such as leaves, roots, and other plant or animal material. You see, limestone and coal contains fossils, and that's why they are organically formed. And when we say chemically formed, we mean rocks formed due to precipitation of minerals from water. Precipitation is the creation of a solid from a solution. If you see, how is halite, potash, and limestone formed? Millions of years ago, evaporation of seawater led to the formation of these minerals. So this was all about the sedimentary rocks. Now we go to...
All right. So this is the bang of the show right here. Make sure y'all... Oh, baby.
Last division of rock called metamorphic rock. The word metamorphic means change of form. Just like metamorphosis, where a caterpillar transforms into butterfly, so the word meta means change in other form. Now these rocks from under the action of pressure, volume and temperature changes. Rocks are as it is so hard, and to change their form, just imagine how much of pressure and temperature is required. So it needs incredible amount of pressure and temperature. So in the previous point, I said metamorphic rocks require great amount of pressure and temperature. The question is where and how will the rocks get the pressure and temperature? So you see the tectonic movement is referred to as the movement of plates on which oceans and continents reside. When two plates come closer, we call it as convergent boundary. In convergent mechanism, a smaller plate subducts under a larger plate. With this, all the rocks that is sedimentary and igneous moves towards the mantle that is under the crust. That's how pressure and heat influences the rocks to become metamorphic. Metamorphism is a process by which already consolidated rocks undergo recrystallization and reorganization of materials within original rocks.
You see that?
So this
recrystallization and reorganization. So these rocks change form the same way our ancestors changed form. The same way this clay is made into man from what? From alpha bombardment. So we're going to go into that after this.
Crystallization and reorganization of a rock happens due to extreme heat and pressure. When the rocks make their way inside the mantle during subduction, heat and pressure acts on them and transform them into metamorphic rocks. Now the transformation of metamorphic rock
This must got a lot of in all these commercials.
Happen in two ways. One is through dynamic metamorphism, and the other is through thermal metamorphism. Let me cover these two points. Undergo dynamic as well as thermal change. So one is due to pressure of the massive weight of the landform, and the other is due to heat from the interior of the Earth. It is very easy to remember this. In chemistry, if you want to separate the elements from a mineral, you basically heat it to a point that it melts. So thermal metamorphism does chemical alteration to the rocks. Now, under thermal metamorphism, they are of two types. One is contact metamorphism and the other is regional metamorphism. To understand this, I'll do an illustration. So far, we know that rocks make it to the interior of the Earth due to tectonic activities, right? Now, when the rocks are under the crust, the contact metamorphism refers to the point where these rocks come in direct contact with hot magma and lava. So this is going to melt the rocks and recrystallize them in different form. So this is contact metamorphism. Now in regional metamorphism, the rocks do not become molten rocks in order to change their shape. They just need the incredible pressure of the landform above and high temperature as well, but do not mistake it with molten form. It need not melt the rock. That's why contact means in touch with magma and regional means around the magma so that heat of the magma does the trick. In the process of metamorphism in some rocks, grains or minerals get arranged in layers or lines. Such an arrangement of minerals or grains in metamorphic rocks is called foliation or lineation. Now have a look at this picture. You see this horizontal line, nice clear pattern sort of a thing? This is called foliation or lineation. Imagine how much of pressure this rock must have gone through so that layers are visible. Now in the similar manner, we have banding, where layers appear in light and dark shades. They will not have a clear pattern, but
Julian is free. He can do as he pleases. He can choose to enjoy a sublime,
but still you will see different layers of shades. That's why this is also called as foliation. Now, types of metamorphic rocks depend upon original rocks that were subjected to metamorphism. Metamorphic rocks are classified into two groups, foliated rocks and non-foliated rocks. We have read about what are foliated rocks. So under foliated rocks, you will see a nice clear pattern sort of a thing, and then you have a banded rock. But the non-foliated rocks looks like this. You'll see random patches of shades. Basically, it looks like an ugly, rough rock. But you will not at all find any layer. That's how you can recognize foliated and non-foliated metamorphic rock. If you want to see more of such educational content, make sure you're subscribed.
All right, so you guys see the different type of rocks.
Thanks for watching.
Which is the igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rock. we're gonna end the show on that note because the next show we're gonna deal with the alpha bombardment and things of that nature. Now, you know, to those people that say, well, why the planet still not making, you know, these beings? That's because there's no alpha bombardment taking place. When the alpha bombardment takes place, that's when human beings and eggs will be formed again. So, you know, and once we understand the great science of Noon, it's going to take us to the next level. But those that are listening right now are going to be ahead of the curve, because when they sit down and have these discussions with these people, you're going to be able to speak with intelligence and speak with firm understanding. Out, you know, these are the major keys to the equation, is understanding the rocks and the clay in the planet. Like Mr. Jabari said, you know, people don't come up out the dirt. Okay, well, we'll leave him to his ignorance until we prove otherwise. All right. So that's my spill rather on, you know, on these on this topic. We had a good show today. We really touched basis on getting closer and closer to the fact of the of the origin of the African race. The next show we're gonna touch even deeper and get to the nitty gritty of things as more questions are being answered rather. So, you got anything to say, Ken? You still got your nature book up. You wanted to read from it some more?
Oh, hold on. I think no, I was just thinking how this just proves about the ancestors coming out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And how it took a lot of pressure for them to form in the inside of the earth. And then it also told me why it took them so long for them to come back as other races, because they had to go down there and their whole structure was made from that non-ether heat and clay, which is
they were compacted.
And they were damn near indestructible.
Yeah, that's why in the next clip we're gonna show how that happens. It's gonna be a really good show. I already got the information set up for that. So whenever we ready to go, and I'm gonna put some more information together. But yeah, and even when I was watching you go through the clips just now, I see you going through rocks, and that's why after Boonoo put this is rock bottom. Yo, he was really being literal. This is rock bottom because their structure was sealed in rocks, metamorphic rocks, igneous rocks. They were really a composition of all these different things. It's crazy. It's crazy when you really think about it. And then he said that they were able to transform into anything. You know,
like the Hindu was saying, they left out the sun part, but as long as there's enough heat and pressure, you can change. And that's how they was able to metamorphosize into anything they wanted. Because you needed that heat and that rock formation or that diamond, which is the hardest type of rock there is. So when you got that type of heat coming from the sun and the planet and it's beating on their physical, they're able to break light down too, because diamonds do that. Break light down. He said they could go from place to place, ray beam, turn into anything. Like you said, everything was in there.
It was already inside of them. And on top of that, they was able to ray beam because of the heat, because of the when anything heats up, it moves faster. The molecules start going quick.
It's like
understand,
it's like boiling water.
Yeah. Like just like boiling water, everything start moving fast. So that's how they was able to boom, ray beam. And because when things get heated up so much, it becomes compacted and they start to come together. That's why he said Noopooh is the combination of all existing gases and chemicals. Yeah. And they were the composition of all existing gases and chemicals. Right. So that's how they were able to spread out and become anything they want. So if they wanted to turn into a lion, they could turn into a lion. If they wanted to turn into compact themselves into an ant, they could have did that. If they wanted to be a big elephant, they did that. All they had to do was spread out their composition or compact their composition even more. And what ended up happening is that because they were so powerful and compact and so dense, they were able to sit down into the planet and create all the other things on the bottom half of the circle because what did happen to them? They recrystallized. That's why they tell you there's a recrystallization taking place in the planet. And a lot of these people will be wearing the crystals now, but they don't understand that some of the crystals they're wearing is dead material. We're in the live material. You understand? Unless you got a 9 ether crystal that's gonna burn your chest open, it don't make no sense.
Put it on your chest. Put it on your chest like Iron Man.
Exactly. And how did Iron Man get his crystal? From the 9 ether crystal or the 6 ether crystal? Or, oh, wait, his name is Iron Man. What's the middle of the planet called?
That's iron.
It's iron.
Yep. They know what's down there. Like I said, you bust them in the head with the slab graveyard because when you look at the picture of the 9 ether clay and the 6, that's slabs of rock and clay.
That's right.
It's nothing down. It's dead right now down there. They know that. They, like you said, they know more than they putting on.
That's right. Why would they name it graveyard? They know why they named it graveyard. Because that's why ancestors died and produced the dead.
Mm-hmm. The bottom half of existence, animals, insects. And, oh yeah, I might as well, since we talking about this, let me just bring this in because this right here.
Oh man, this show was a smoker, man. These shows getting hotter and hotter, man.
Let me break this down. Let me. Where's my thing? There you go. Hold on. These screens so close together.
These shows.
So, yeah, like you said, it's dead down there. But check this right here.
And
we could close out after this good stuff.
Yeah, because I don't even know how long we've been running.
Well, I mean, we had a little late start. That was my fault.
Yeah, it's all good. It was good. It was good that, because that was powerful, man. Especially when you brought in the 9-ball with the alpha bombardment. When
I be looking for something else, but then other stuff be kicking in. Let me know when you can see this.
Yeah, buried tectonic plate.
And this came up when I was looking up the graveyard slab. They saying this is down there. Because remember, the dinosaurs came on the planet too, and they died off.
They died the same time our pygmy
ancestors went out, right? So they all had to go the same route.
They all got subducted.
Right. They went under there and just got dismantled and grinded up, and other things came from them. See, a previous unknown tectonic plate, one that has been swallowed up by the earth, has been discovered in the Philippine Sea, according to a recent study. Using images constructed from earthquake data, geoscientists have developed a method for resurrecting a slab graveyard of tectonic plate segments buried deep within the earth, unfolding the deformed rock into what it may have looked like up to 52 million years ago. You know they lying about the time.
Yeah, the time is only it's earlier than that. It's 20 million years. Might have been 20 million years ago. I mean, 18 million years ago. I apologize.
Right. This helped the researcher identify the previous unknown East Asian sea plate where an ancient sea once existed in the region shortly after dinosaurs went extinct. The Philippine Sea lies at the junction of several major tectonic plates. The Pacific, Indo-Australian, and Eurasian plates frame several smaller plates, including the Philippine Sea Plate, which researchers say has been migrating northward since its forming roughly 55 million years ago. In the process, the Philippine Sea Plate collided with the northern edge of the East Asian Sea Plate, driving it into the Earth's mantle. That's the subduction again. The southern area of the East Asian Sea Plate was eventually subducted by or forced beneath other neighboring plates, the researcher said. Geologists attempted to reconstruct the paths with once limited to visible evidence of slow-moving changes such as mountains, volcanoes, or the echoes of ancient waterways. That's what's down in the earth too. That's a waterway, that inlet. But with the new imaging technology, scientists can now glean information from hundreds of miles within the Earth's interior to map distant history. The slabs were previously identified with an imaging technique called seismic tomography, which uses earthquakes and waves and multiple monitoring stations to determine the speed at which different waves travel through the Earth. Those waves generally travel more quickly through old chunks of tectonic plates that sink through the mantle like a leaf through water, said study-led author Johnny Wu, a geologist formerly at National Taiwan University and now at the University of Houston. Wu and his colleagues at National Taiwan University focus on an area around the Philippine Sea in part because of good data from the many seismic monitoring stations in the earthquake-heavy region. East Asia has been a place where plates have been coming together, conveying and disappearing from the Earth's surface in a process called subduction. Wu told Live Science because the information you're looking for to piece together the history of the area is actually disappearing from the Earth's surface. It's made it very difficult. So if they keep going and going, it's a long thing, but I just wanted them to understand that that is, like the nature book said, that the ancestors died and sunk to the bottom of the planet. And,
that's right.
And you can't get no more bottom than that. The bottom really is the center. So that's what he went at. And like you said, the slave graveyards, 2 slabs. 6 ether is dead anyway, but it's active. But 9 ether definitely dead because it's in the winter and it don't come alive until the alpha bombardment start to kick in, which is the sun start getting hotter to bring that heat from the top to make it get hot and boil and start, and and also the heat from the earth, that life, that burning.
It gives off lightning. It gives off the sun starts giving off lightning, which impregnates the eggs on the planet. So
ethereal lightning.
Yeah, correct. Ethereal lightning. And I think I read an article about that the sun actually causes lightning on the planet, which is crazy. So we gonna get to all that. It's heading in a good direction, especially for Noon and those that want to learn about Noon and things of that nature. So all we doing is making sure that Noon is just validating itself, because we can't validate it. It already validated itself. We just here to just bring some more light to the situation, because it's our job as liberators to continue the work that Afro Unu was putting forth, and I appreciate the work that he put forth. I don't know if there's anything else you want to what you want to say before we close out.
No, that was it. I just wanted to add on to that You know, we're just giving them different. Noopooh Noon is giving things what we need. As soon as we get into this, I enjoy it every time we do it. But I think that was a great find, the slab graveyard, and the books and the drawings and the information in it. Like you said, just being able to line it up with today's science. And I like that even though it'd be hard to listen to the Hindu guys be talking this the way they sound, the way they voice be wild. It's like, man, I really have to strain the way they talk. But a lot of them is very smart and intelligent though, because you usually find them in this type of area when you looking this stuff up.
But that's why we need to have more black people in these areas. You know what I'm saying? But it don't even matter, because guess what? The smartest person in their particular sciences, we already cover it in Noon. We once we adopt Noon, we already surpassed them. I'm just giving you these videos because there's nice visual, you know, nice visual and things like that. I already know it. I already know the answer. What they're saying is just coming from a different angle, so that we can see, you know, a different take on it. And then sometimes people don't really adhere to information unless it's coming from another source, and we're just giving another source. But these sources came after the primary source, which was Noon. If you go back to any one of these articles, they not talking about no alpha bombardment as far as eggs is being created. None at all. And he did that in the 70s with the 9-ball books, which means to talk about them in this one, because they like, oh, we can't stop talking about them, so we ain't gonna mention them in this one. But we know that they leader ain't never mentioned no alpha bombardment. They talk about those aliens coming from Risk and putting it in a dolphin and coming to this planet. Nothing about alpha bombardment. Nothing about the subduction zone and the water inlet. Nothing about the 6 ether and 9 ether that's right under the planet, and they think that they are 9 ether beings. If you are 9 ether being, you need to be as hot as the mantle is the inner mantle. If you ain't as hot as the inner mantle, you ain't no 9 ether being. Sorry, try again.
That's why I told them on the first video at the end, they say the earth is hollow, so they automatically done been shut out of this conversation. The people in the Bible, the Christians, the Hebrews, anybody else, that book they talk about man coming out of the ground is in this, is automatically in the conversation. Them cult members totally out of the conversation. They ain't even on the planet. So it's like y'all been tricked. That religion people, the religion is gonna have more to say than everybody else. So, and that's the funny part.
Wow. But all right, man, this was a good show, great show actually. I think they just keep getting hotter and hotter. Last show was a smoker. This one was a bigger smoker. And you know, the next show, when we get into all the chemicals and the, oh man, I already know that's gonna be hot. So my name is Boonoo Noopooh. I represent the bone marrow of the Ethiopian African kinky head race, and I'm gonna let Tarnoon exit himself out.
I'm Tarnoon, aka Tarkinu, the bladder Noopooh. I represent the bladder as the body of the Ethiopian race, and it was a pleasure coming to y'all tonight to deliver the validation to the great science Noon. And Noon is, as it states, all correct information. So no matter where you get correct information, it's still Noon, and Noon is also the science of science. and the science in sciences. So that means not only is Noon in everything, it is everything, and all things is in it, because it's the science of all sciences. So that means we're gonna be united as long as it's correct information, because ignorance and knowledge will always be separate. So those of you who can't come together in the name of correct information, that means you don't have it. And this is why I can sit here and say certain things from the Bible and make it correct and line it up with Noon. And those who in the religious arena, when they be able to see what Noon is, they'll be able to see that it's here to help the information become clear that they got. And as we get further, that's what we intend to do anyway, just clear up a lot of things, unlike those who came before us who claimed that they was going to clear up those religions. The only thing they did was create more confusion and separation and made a mutant of whatever it was that they claimed that they was trying to heal. So I think that'll be it. I want to say true peace and war times to everybody that showed up tonight, those who couldn't make it through the whole thing, and those who will see this on the big channel. So I will be editing this and putting a little bit of whistles and bells on it. And hopefully, like I said, we'll be doing part 4 soon. Hopefully we'll be able to do it before next Saturday, come somewhere between here and Saturday.
All right.
So
sound good to me.
That's it. Yeah, I already been saying I need mine done, but I can't pressure her because she's gonna have arthritis. I have to give Noopooh some time because she be looking crazy. Oh, I got all this to do. Oh, it never stops. I can't never be laughing. Feel the burn.
Get y'all socks. You know what I'm saying? I think Noopooh should make this a business, but as far as like the what you call it, the painting and stuff like that, you guys got to understand Noon to get you one of these. This is a powerful symbol right here, and it's the ball. It's the 9 ball.
Yeah.
You know. So get you some socks as well. I'm holding out on advertising them. I got like a Facebook page on the waiting list for it. As soon as I get the proper samples and things that I've been looking for, and the lady socks that come in, I got you guys. It's gonna be a mass advertisement and marketing of the socks. So, if you definitely want to get you a pair, you can just go pick them up at noopoohnoon.com. And true peace and peaceful shadows and peaceful rises to those on the other side of the globe. All right.
True peace.
Oh, wait. Before we leave, I want to talk about this voting thing. A lot of people into this voting and voting in the local election. Maybe we could squeeze a little something in here about voting. When you vote, right, you are keeping the system that has oppressed you in power, whether it be in the local election or in the gigantic election. And the reason why I say that is because this country is governed by the Constitution, which is a racist document, right? And that document was constructed by white men that intended to keep us as slaves. I think every last one of the ones that constructed the Constitution owned slaves, and it was the intentions to keep us as slaves. And I'm pretty sure they advised the descendants to keep us in that position, because if they keep us in that position, that means that they would still be in power. They will never relinquish that power if you continue to follow their system, right? So voting is only going to keep you guys in the slavery that that you're in. And voting in the local election is no different. Are you trying to be ruled by the a black man under the system of oppression? It doesn't matter what color face is in there, and eventually that person gonna disappoint you too. You understand what I'm saying? So voting is just like another form of religion. It's like you praying, because you're asking the person inside of the in that particular position to give you, you know, what you want. It's like praying. When you praying to God, God, can you please give me this or give me that? So now you're going to the politician. Can you please give me this? I'm gonna vote for you, God. So you, instead of voting for Allah, you voting for Tom Smith. Instead of voting for Jesus, you voting for Michael Bailey. Instead of, you know what I'm saying? So voting is just like praying. And if you look up the etymology of vote, it means to worship the particular, or to vow to a or bow to a god or something like that. So voting,
I'm looking it up now.
Yeah, go to etymology of vote and you're gonna see that. You might have to cut this part of the video out and make this its own separate entity, because it's nice and short and sweet. It's like, is this gonna be like 5-10 minutes, because a lot of people getting into this voting thing. So we gotta get our people out of this voting madness. You got it? Just share the screen.
Is it showing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like I said, like a vow to a God, a promise to a God. It's like a prayer. God, I promise I'm gonna be good. Just help me get out of this.
Yeah, and they do the same thing that the religious books God do. Make these promises when instead of the, you know, like the priest or the preacher, not the preacher, but the politician, the rest of them, you know, promise that, you know, when I get in office, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. And then in religion, they be like, oh, well, if you accept whatever God into your life, this God would do this and this God would do that. It's the same thing. It's just the one is in reverse, but they both only look out for certain people. And that's why you got people who had who were real faithful to whatever they was into, they still get a bad deal. So politics and religion, even though they try to say that's two things you don't talk about, they actually go hand in hand, because all these politicians have they have to touch the Bible to get sworn in.
That's right.
The higher you go, they got to touch the Bible and promise that they gonna do this, that, and the third, and it don't never come out right. It's more bad done than good. So that's the same thing with religion. No matter what God you voting for, same crap.
Yep. So they turn politics. Politics is just like, just say what it is. It's religion.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And like Boonoo said, there's only one philosophy: deception. And that's what's going on. It's deception. It's deceptive to keep allowing. It's like you now saying, okay, I want my own, like when you going into the local elections, because they like, oh, the local elections can affect. It can. It can, right? But the overall picture is you are still going to be oppressed. No matter where you at, what you're doing, and who you put into office, you will be oppressed. And you will be disappointed. Because the federal government is the one that runs every single thing. You understand? So the thing that we as Black people must do is to get our economic well-being on. This is how I'm trying to get our economic well-being on with. These right here. The calendar that you see in Tarnoon's background, I'm also trying to do that as well. I'm trying to do that for my entire culture. You understand what I'm saying? Because if I win, they win. And if they win, I win. You understand? Because we follow a process called equalism. Now, everything ain't gonna be totally equal, you know what I'm saying? But those that put in the work will share the benefits. You understand what I'm saying? Because they have a lot to offer, and I have a lot to offer. You understand what I'm saying? But everything won't be totally equal, you know, because we still in the bottom half. We're still in the bottom half of the SMAT circular order. So it's not like, oh, if I make, you know, 500,000, then I got to split 500,000 amongst everybody. How that works is in our system is that if I make 500,000, 250,000 has to go back to the culture. It has to. It has to go back into building the culture. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what equalism is about. It's about making sure that the people of your culture can come up and have, you know, economic well-being for themselves. So that's what I mean about if I make it, we all make it, because the culture will benefit as a whole. And I ain't gonna be sitting there with $1 million and then my kids and them just like, oh, you know, yo, you can't give me. No, that's not how it works. That's how it works in this society. This is capitalism. Capitalism is capitalizing off the people. You know what I'm saying? So we got to get to a better understanding that each one of us, especially the black males in our culture, are supposed to be entrepreneurs, especially the black males, because we are supposed to take care of our families. All right. And the only way we can properly take care of our families, meaning we can be in the household and still make money, we have to become entrepreneurs again. We have to become creative again. We have to become sons again. We have to be able to exist like sons. Granted, our ancestors, you know, they were subjected to jobs and they did the best that they can. We are also subjected to jobs and doing the best that we can. But we are on the cusp right now, meaning that we have the opportunity to become entrepreneurs. All right. And I'm trying to be a leading example in being a creative entrepreneur. Tarnoon is trying to be a leading example of a creative entrepreneur. And the only way we can do it was with the help of the people supporting our brand. All right. So try to support Pitch Nova as best as you can to replace the socks that you're wearing with these socks. These socks have significant backing behind it. Marcus Garvey, Afro Unu were two of the greatest liberators to touch this planet. And I dedicated these socks to them because of the colors, the red, black, and the green. All right. I did one for Francis Cress Wilson as well. I showed you guys that on the last live. All right. But it's getting late. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning where we're at. But support the brand. All right. So, and you guys got a nice little speech into why we do what we do and what the direction that we're trying to go. I don't know if you want to say something.
No, that's it. I pushed it to the limit tonight.
Push it to the limit.
I pushed it to the limit.
Uh-huh. All right.
So yeah, we'll be looking forward to part 4. True peace, everybody.
True peace.